2013 Subaru Forester, recovering the refrigerant right now. Customer was up in Oregon and it was really hot, and they complained while they were on the driving. The air conditioning just instantly turned off and never turned on. Now, as you're looking at this video in your screen, what do you see that stands out and jumps at you that's wrong? It should be immediate for those who know. Those who don't, maybe not know. Okay, keep on going, keep on looking, look for it. All right, look at the face of the clutch. Right there. See that as white? That's not supposed to be white. That's black paint on there. How did it get white? It got white because it got hot. How did it get hot? It got hot because it slipped. Why did it slip? Well, we do spin very freely in there, and this is why you cannot always use spinning compressors as meaning they didn't get any damage to them from starting to seize up or anything like that. We're going to inspect that inside. I'm going to pull off the tops, look inside, might have to pull off the compressor, put some brake clean in the compressor, shake it around, pour it out, see if there's any debris coming out of the compressor. But this was slipping for a reason, and it's not because it had a big gap. There's no big gap. Then another thing, there is a little light glow in the back there, going all the way around, and I could wipe it off with my finger. And that's the dye from the shaft seal. Then over here, look at the expansion valve is wet. Not only is it wet, you could really start seeing where the glow is right there at that seal on the expansion valve on the back side as it heads towards the evaporator. Okay, that's another one. Now this one could have came from, as this got really hot and the bearing and the shaft and everything like that overheated, the shaft seal causes the leak. And this is one of the reasons where when guys jump to conclusion and they have a bad pulley that overheated or a bearing that went out and lost all its grease and got really hot, they replaced the clutch and pulley and fuel coil assembly, and then a couple months later it comes back with an empty system because it leaked out the shaft, because the shaft seal got so hot because it's right underneath the bearing that it turned metal blue. So how hot did it get? And it heats up the seal material on the shaft and it fails later on. What else? Okay, so then here we go. We ohmed this. So I set this down on ohms. We got the ohm scale, round it out, and touch the lead, and we're completely open, like nothing's happening. And if you wanted to double check that, put your 12 volts, touch it, nobody's home, nothing's happening. And all this, every procedure I perform, when I'm taking the ohm reading, I take a picture of it, it goes on the work order. When I was giving it power, I take a picture of it, it goes on the work order. I take a picture of the glowing over there, it goes on the work order. I take a picture of the glowing there, I take a picture of the white clutch face from getting hot and explain why it gets hot. I take a picture of how much refrigerant came out of the system, and we have 340 grams came out, and this one was supposed to be 550 grams, 455.50. So put all that together, all this gets explained to the customer, everything gets put in writing. There's a story with every picture of a leak, why we were doing the kind of performance, giving the power and what should be happening, the ohm reading. All these procedures go in pictures and go on the work order for the customer. Customer gets all the old parts, and then when they leave, they get the choice of taking the parts with them, analyzing, looking at them. Everything is documented. That's it on this one. So we're a done deal. This is going to get a compressor, expansion valve, O-rings. Of course, since this is like this, you'll probably find that the fuse is blown for that, possibly. That's it. Doing a recovery on a old vehicle that was purchased for just parts cars. for all the Priuses. And we're done here today. And as we went around, looked for leaks. Could not find leaks at the time. I know it's leaking right there, but couldn't pick it up because that's one of those ones that's probably only leaking at a certain time, maybe when it's cold and it's working and the metal contracts or expands at different rates as it's heating up or cooling off. Same for the shaft seal. See you guys on the next one.